there, comrades. So remember how I was saying in previous videos that I did run out of juice one night. I didn't have enough power from the truck to run my new setup, plus some lights and charge some things for the whole evening. Well, now I got this Bluetti EB55. It's not a big unit, it's 537 or 540 watt hours. In amp hours it's about something like 25 amp hours, but that's depletion to zero, right? Because this is lithium. So, unlike my truck battery, it kind of comes to that essentially, because my truck battery is, 80 amp hours, and I can essentially do half of it before like things stop working in a way, you know, things start to shut down but do require quite a bit of power, like the fridge and so on. So this is gonna be my first night and testing of this small little unit, but it should complement me pretty nicely. I don't need huge power, I just need something to sustain me for the night time, doing the things I do now, and then during daytime I'll be charging from car solar and all that stuff. And it's perfect right now because this is night condition, and this is exactly most of the time when I'll need this unit to just charge everything I need. But before that, let's fly here and check out the scenery. It's pretty awesome. It's an amazing spot I was given, full connection. I'll actually be remote working, not from home but from nature tomorrow, like actual work. Okay, let's fly. I just got this unit, it said it was at 80%. I'm trying to deplete it with everything I can before I get out and test it at camping and stuff. As you can see, I have Mavic 1 drone charging, a bunch of camera batteries. Also, I charged just now my Mavic 3 Pro. I have this piano working from it, then this piano, laptop hooked up right now. My camera monitor battery is plugged in. So I also have this fan working right now, as well as the humidifier for the car. So lots of things are pumping right now. So current output is 224 watt. Yeah, it's already in an hour depleted stuff. So I actually want to time it. Unfortunately, this unit didn't arrive on time as I planned to test it properly at full-on camping. And I have limited time before I need to go on a big trip, which it's gonna come handy. I'll test it out probably, shoot an hour video, just kind of like how I integrated it into my setup, try to charge it from a car. But right now at home I want to see how long it's gonna take to discharge, charging a bunch of stuff, running, and then from AC outlet how long is it gonna be charging to 100%. I'll actually time it and see how it goes, because potentially I can actually still charge it from my car, as I have 5500 watt inverter in there, which is plugged to my primary battery, which is plugged to my two solar panels. So essentially not directly, but I will be charging it from my solar panels during daytime. So I unplugged everything, and as you can see, it's down to zero. It took about 2 hours from 80% running just bazillion of stuff, fans and so on. So you know, I wouldn't be running this kind of like amounts of things definitely at camping. So now I'm gonna plug it into AC charger, time it, and see how long it's gonna take to charge the whole thing to 100%. I wasn't paying attention, but it took about 3.5 to 4 hours to charge the station from AC. I haven't read the manual yet, maybe there is some other way to trigger the screen, but there is a button on the back which also serves as a light. And from testing it at home, it only consumed something like 2 watts. So basically nothing. It can run like for days essentially. But that's the button how I trigger this screen here. I really like the screen. It's like it's nice display. It just shows input, output. That's all I need. I remember some older generation power stations that I've seen on YouTube, like older ones, you know, some years back. Some of them didn't actually show proper like output power. You know, it was a little weird. So screen is big. It's awesome. There is like eco mode here. I'm not sure what it is yet. I will figure it out maybe tomorrow. So right now I flew this drone here. I'm charging, I've been charging camera batteries here, my phone, and what else? The piano is being powered here, the laptop's being powered. So it's 700 watt total, right? I already mentioned that. But it feels like it can take more. Like actually, as far as I remember, it said that the peak, the surge protection is at 1400 watts. So it can take the beating for sure. I actually had to put headlight on. There is some scratching and things happening in the bush. I'm like, what is going on? Through some rocks, and there is still like motion in there. I'm like, hey, where's my bear spray? You know, something's out there. But I screamed a little bit, this and that, and it's like, whatever it was, it seems to be gone. Maybe a raccoon, I have no idea. I'm close to city, so it's raccoon heaven. Vancouver. But raccoons are like, I don't know, pet animals over here. So let's get back to this thing. I'm going on a big trip in a week to the Rockies. Basically the whole idea, I've been kind of mentioning it on Instagram and Facebook and stories and so on. If you don't follow that, you can go there. But the whole idea for a big trip is that I'm gonna hunker down on some mountain tops, change locations maybe 3-4 times. I'm gonna stick around in Canadian Rockies. I did that trip 2 years ago. I have lots of awesome locations. A couple of them I want to revisit, a couple I was given. There's going to be some beautiful scenic views on top of mountains, park like this, deploy piano. I want to fly drone for some Mystic Notion future music videos or like violin and this setup. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully not too windy. And so I'm like, okay, well, I need this guy. I need something for sure, because it was all summertime as I'm doing these things, but as soon as fall comes, or in spring, because my camping season usually starts mid-February to somewhere end of November. Maybe occasional, not rare week I may stay in the city to do city things, chores, appointments, whatever. But generally, yeah, that's kind of like pretty much my year of camping. And so summertime, I had enough energy. Sure, I could run the truck, but now run keyboard, laptop, all that stuff. And this is not traditional MIDI keyboard. Like usually they're powered through MIDI to laptop. So, you know, just barely consuming power. This guy, however, needs to be plugged into a AC outlet. That's the downside of this. It's a beautiful keyboard, but it's like one of the rare cases in the market that you actually need separate power. This one on Canadian market costs about 640 bucks, something like this, 650. I didn't need something like super big, huge, 2 grand. I just don't need that stuff. My truck with 2 solar panels and 80 amp hour battery generally is enough for daytime. Daytime, I don't need this unit, right? Like I can run totally from truck, everything's charging, everything's perfect. It's the night time. So that's why I'm sitting at night right now, because it's perfect test case. So right now it's sitting at 60%, right? I came here fully charged, and so I charged the drone from like more than half depletion, the remote control, a couple of batteries already. right? The whole evening here for about the past 3 hours, keyboard and laptop's been running. What else? Yeah, some phone I was charging completely from like 30% to 100%. So I've been doing lots of things, and at peak it showed that I was taking off about 80 watt-hour, and right now it's not at peak 80, I was saying, it's 44. So you can basically calculate it like 44 times or what is it, 540 divided by 40. And yeah, it's obviously at this rate it still can last me all night long. Like how many hours? Many hours basically. I don't want to calculate this, but many hours at this rate. And again, fins are charging, and generally I wouldn't be charging, like there's no point for me to charge batteries, drone and all these things at night. I never do it. I just run the car lights and this thing generally. Because come you know, daytime, like sunlight, that's when I charge everything before I move on, take on a trip, whatever it is. While having breakfast, all this stuff, you know, things are already pumping, charging, and great. By the time I need to head off somewhere, everything's pretty much charged, done. And this unit, obviously, I'm gonna be just plug in the morning. By noon, it's probably gonna be charged already, because I have 500 watt inverter. I'm just gonna be powering it indirectly, not connected full, you know, directly to solar, but instead to my inverter. So it should be a much quicker charge. But we'll see tomorrow in the morning. I'll actually test it from my setup. So this Bluetti EB55 has got lithium Fe-PO4 battery, and this is essentially the latest and greatest. Awesome. I always wanted that. Like if I ever were to get any units, obviously I want the greatest. It can be completely depleted something like 2,500 times. I'm just trying to think how many camps I need for that, and yeah, essentially it's pretty much lifetime here. Probably 10 years worth of campings, and that's if I camp oh, for sure like 5 years if I camp every freaking day, completely depleting and charging this. Oh yeah, and I should add, it actually said that it's 2,500 depletions to 80%, right? Then it starts to degrade, and you can still completely deplete it who knows how many times. It's ridiculous, it's forever. So yeah, I've had a little bit of concern that possibly these kind of units, they have very loud inverters when a bunch of stuff is plugged in into AC outlets. I can't hear any sound at all. I can easily take it inside the cab and just keep running things in there, it doesn't matter. Also, there is this thing, wireless charging, 15 watts. Unfortunately, my phone doesn't have wireless charging, otherwise I would completely enjoy this thing here. The handle seems to be very sturdy, like I don't... like there's some kind of metal rods there, it's gonna last. And I like how it's completely flat. There's some units, I think Jackery or something, it actually has like sticking out handles for these smaller units, and yeah, you can't put anything on top, it's like bad design. This is great, flat. So yeah, you can charge it from DC directly with this port. I don't remember what it's called. Well, I guess DC port or whatever. And from solar, well, I don't have detachable solar, whatever. For me, it doesn't matter. It's going to be always AC, even from inverter. So this is cool. This is car port, but the 12 volt, whatever, the standard thing. Cool. I didn't even realize this thing is here. I have no idea what these are. What kind of ports there are. So there's 4 AC ports, AC output, so 100 to 120 volts. Okay, so there's USB-C 100 watt port in here, which is super fast for charging whatever it is, new devices that can take it. 4 5 volt 3 amp port, so this is essentially almost like quick charge. I think this is exactly how quick charge is, so that's awesome. Oh yeah, so this is pure sine wave inverter, which is great. Well, I guess all these modern units, they are pure sine. Like, it wouldn't make sense to have not pure sine. This is like the proper standards for safety. I like that these things can be turned on and off, right? So you conserve power. You don't want inverter running, just shut it off. You don't want these things running, shut it off. So it's cool. One thing though, I wish it would show actually more. Like, you know, there is obviously like between 20% and 0, right? There's a whole gap between right now, like, is it, what is this? Is it 70% right now? It's showing 60. Is it 65? Is it 61? Right? It would be better to show actual number of percent, not these bars here, now that I think about it, but just show me the exact percent the battery is sitting at. From what I've seen on videos, Jackeries and so on, they all kind of have this system. They don't show exact, well, most of them I guess don't. I do have a separate camera monitor, and currently one battery ran out from me running it all evening here. This is perfect. Nothing to charge. What's gonna do here? The only inputs I see here are this DC. I guess it can connect to generator, car AC. I don't know. Well, solar obviously. All I care about is charging from AC. That's my purpose. 200 watt max solar input. Sure, but I guess for me it still doesn't matter. It's just gonna be off inverter for me. 400 watt max fast dual charging solar plus AC adapter simultaneously. Okay, that is cool. Well, again, not for me. I don't have a separate solar, but if I had, plus plug it AC into inverter, great. It would be like boom. Actually, I do remember at home when I had AC plugged, it did show roughly about 200 watts pumping. So that makes, I mean, who knows, maybe one day I'll have extra portable solar panels or whatever. Maybe if Bluetti is actually watching this, maybe they could send me some kind of foldable, portable solar panels, and maybe I could throw a review of that. What is eco-friendly, gas-free, quiet, cost-effective? Well, sure. Well, quietness I already mentioned. I don't hear any inverter sounds. So this is it for tonight. I actually wanted this perfect night test. This is what I need it for. I'll see how long it takes. I want to actually get a little bit into music here. I need to preset up some presets for my long trip. Okay, so it's morning and there is a little bit of a problem, not how I wanted things to go. So this is my 500 watt inverter. When I plugged it in, it shuts off. This is Bluetti, right? A transformer, I guess, and it's too powerful. It needs too much juice. So instead, I'm using that second plug they included, the DC one, right? And I'm just doing the regular car port here. Yeah, I'm not able right now to charge it as fast as how I planned. As you can see, it's only 35 watts that's coming in instead of 100. That's gonna take forever to charge this thing, but we shall see. I really thought 500 watt would do it. Okay, so as I was driving the car, I was plugging into this outlet here, and it charged 40% roughly, and an hour being outside of a car, which is not too bad. So there is still a little bit of time period where I'll need to adjust as to how I'm charging this. Maybe I still have time before the big trip. Maybe I'll order even bigger power inverter here, not 500 watt. I didn't want to spend more money or whatever, but I'll see. Like actually, maybe I need to change a fuse down below under the car to like 20 amps, not 15. I'll figure it out, but still pretty good that I have this unit. Maybe I need to buy like a splitter for my solar panels, like an actual splitter, and when I'm camping, whatever, I just have still cable running to the car and charging car battery and so on. Then maybe from solar directly I can plug it into Bluetti EB55 and kind of charge things at the same time. I'm not sure, but I have, yeah, a couple of days to decide, and I guess order something on Amazon Prime and see how it goes. And probably I'll figure more ways of how to optimize all this charging things during daytime. while on big trip, and I'll probably be well, I'll be updating it in some videos I'll shoot in that probably mini series, probably a couple of episodes, or maybe just make it one big one, 1 hour thing. I have no idea. Like, the purpose of that trip is not to really shoot videos for this channel, more like for the other channel, right? The creative side of things. But I'll shoot something. And I'm not gonna try too hard. Like, I wanted in Rockies 2 years ago, shoot documentary, which I shot amazing shots, and I did such a good job with that stuff. But when I came home, month of that footage, ridiculous amount. I didn't speak anything at all in there because the idea was to create it actually as a documentary and narrate after. But the job became so big and I was busy, and I kind of put it off, and it's been there, sitting there for like 2 years. Well, because it's like, now at this point I need to remember where I was, talk about things, just like, oh my god, I got other things to do. But it would be a shame if all this beautiful footage I shot there will never be produced, just be sitting on hard drive. Like, how many of us actually do these things when we don't run a YouTube channel? We just shoot stuff, all these GoPros and whatever, and it just goes on hard drive, and no one ever looks at it after. That footage eventually, even if I don't make a documentary thing, maybe just insert some of my music, just compile beautiful shots of nature and things, and just make it, I don't know, 20-minute Canadian Rockies video with my own music. In fact, maybe I'll do that actually eventually, because I don't think I'll ever get to do it as a documentary. It's gonna take me like 2 weeks to properly do it. I just don't have that time. I'd rather focus on other things. And see you guys in the next video. Ciao.